And today I'll be continuing the Great Exit Journey. It's been 2 weeks? Something like that. And at the same time, looking at Twitch extensions, because I might as well. What is this? I have no idea. Oh, I don't know what this is, but it looks fun. You would add it when I only use Twitch. I'll disable this right now. And install. And I want to do this. Us tune extension stuff. Let's see. Deactivate this for now. I'll try something with bits anyway. I don't think I can use it. But okay. Let's see. Let me just look at this page if it works okay. Extension. Oh, that looks relatively okay. Maybe? Maybe? Okay, anyway. So I'll be continuing this, and it's late because I was playing Lost Ark with friends, and it was fun. And you can never tell when those end, so I have to reschedule this. But today, yes, I'll continue this, and maybe it'll take 2.5 hours? I don't know. Is it the bottom kind of cut off? Maybe just me. Yeah, sorry, just me. Anyway, continue. What happened last time? Oh yeah, some suspicious guy apparently saw what happened, but he didn't actually see anything because he hired his wife as a maid because that's society requires you to have a maid. Yeah, that's what happened. Something like that. And it's trial day for the poor Japanese guy apparently who got framed for assault. Yeah. Okay. 20th of February, 9:23 AM. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. I don't think that's how that works, but okay. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it can be life-changing. And make him guilty, and then, yep, goodbye. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass or unfeeling. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Oh, okay. Oops. My controller. Good morning, who is this? Oh, that guy. I forgot his voice. What was his voice? Every week. Oh, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Let's go with the... I think I went with the low last time. Let's go back to the high voice. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. Early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Great Britain. Actually, I don't know that's good either. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. No, that's terrible. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Maybe that's terrible. I don't know. Don't literary people take things so literally? Wow, that was a weird pun, but okay. Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. More like he had no other choice, but okay. He has no choice. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. What is the Japanese? I don't know what it says there. Really, because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, look up student Mr. Naruto Esquire. Yes. I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Sato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto, but I have no idea. Oh, is she just here too? Why would you think she does? Oh, so the all-knowing look on your face is just a coincidence then, is it? She is smiling like she knows it. Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Oh yeah, he kills all the suspects. Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Mrs. Little? I thought she said she didn't know. I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning. And yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it! Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. My first trial! Yay! Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? That's alright. The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeeks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. What a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. I wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon, for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers. Mundane? Mundane is the most significant saga of the century to some of us! Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. It's not you, it's the guy, it's the prosecutor. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Wait, why do you know that? Yes, I agree. Is it me? Yeah. Look up students, no, Esquire. It's you! I don't think that's why people are reading the papers, but okay. Wait, well, I suppose that's true. Both times, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper! Oh, wow. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. Deathbringers. Okay, wait. Oh, wait, I clicked the wrong button. Wait, okay. Oh, okay, never mind. Good. I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thank you. Thanks for that. Synchronizing with Ryunosuke. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. It's not all L, but okay. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, don't forget that. You have no choice either. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London, with little in the way of experience, or skills, or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I'll believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent locum student. Is it locum? I don't know how to pronounce that. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good afternoon here. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side until you have a guilty verdict, in which we cannot be. Oh, benevolent Lord, not locum, Assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, Counsel for Defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Oh, so much for your thanks. Just until this trial ends, you know? Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go. Yeah. I want to think it's like, hi, sa. This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Okay, good luck, Ryunosuke. And me too. Good luck to me. 20th February. 10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. What was his voice again? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Prosecution. Too many voices! This is way deeper, I feel like. Prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. Let's make the other guy slightly higher. Defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponis are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? We talked yesterday, like 2 days ago. Well, Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Sato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. He was technically guilty. We all knew he was guilty. Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. When he died, here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate, violent end. Stop drinking wine in court. At least give me some. Or the rest of the people. Too many witnesses on this, jury on the stand. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Wait, it's him again! Again! You know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid- her! Oh, her? I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. There may or may not be similarities between the voices. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Okay, let's go with the old voice for that guy. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zieks. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance. Oh, they're all similar! With a rising power in the Far East. Accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Oh my god, he threw it at the candle. And it just like disintegrated into thin air, plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. Oh, terrible. When I have crime, I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst, bloody oath they are. Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Pray forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in the great chamber. You need to stop doing that. Do you think just because you apologize that everything's fine if you do it next time again? Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Too many voices. Maybe I should make all the jurors like monotonous. There's too many of them. Oh, it's him again. Oh yeah, yeah, that guy. Your name and occupation, please. His fish and chips just stuffed them in his pocket, just like, you know, and just not oily and your pocket's just not filthy. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. Oh. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? Suspicious. There must be something there. Comatose, I see. Her life is not in danger? Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. Oh, evidence. Evidence? As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for those horse-drawn vehicles. Okay. It not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Is that her? Oh, girl and a guy. I like how it's like black and white. It's like opposites. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Oh, gimme. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. First, was found with a knife in her back and is currently in hospital yet to regain consciousness. Wait, let me look at it first. Before we go to the next part. Oh, wait, what is this again? Oh yeah. Natsume was receipt 2 shillings for stuff at 17 February 4:45. Street map. Details. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Olive green, female, stout build, early 20s. Location pavement of Briar Road, east side. Reporting officer, Rolly Beat. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from a single stab wound from the large knife, no other sign of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. So, the officer, this guy, Rolly Beat, saw, supposedly, the assailant, the Japanese guy, was stabbing her and then running away, right? Okay. Didn't say what time, though. On this. Okay. What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Ooh, that sounds painful. Ouch, that big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. I understand that feeling. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scragged-looking Sosagi-san, I suppose. A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Oh, large or common blades folding knife. It was found lodged in the victim's back. Wait. Let's stare at this. Let's open it. The tip? The tip? The tip?
W.
The tip? Oh! Konnichiwa, Oma-san. Nande W? Why W? What is this tip? Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. Is it in her body? You're right. Well spotted, Mrs. Sato. I wonder what could have happened to it. Yes, you don't think it could still be lodged in a victim, do you? Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. Now then, what do you know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. They call him my lord? I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. Eyes are so wishy-washy. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. Imitating his wishy-washiness. Wait, what are they doing? The bottle of wine! It's gonna look at those people in the back. You're gonna hit them. You probably did. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. No, but your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. I don't know, you can't trust anything 100%. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Yes, sir. Oh, testimony. Witness testimony! Mr. Natsume is arrested! As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind, and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor, those being a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. Okay. Makes sense. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the book to arrest him. I don't know English terms. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. Oh! Oh, wow, that just stepped right in. Oh yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring to. I'll take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector. Crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Okay, wait. Before we continue. Do I even need this magnifying glass? Can I read the words? Nope. I mean, looks normal. Why is this part of the snow not shoveled though? Isn't that unnatural? Like, look at all the snow over here, and then here's like particularly clean for some reason. Okay. Wait, 3 books? 3 books, right? You bought 3 books. Okay, never mind. But that matches. Denying everything, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Francis, but the defendant is not denying everything, as he put it. What are you doing, Mrs. Sato? Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her. Maybe it was a fake stabbing. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. Yeah, wait, stone. What about the snow? I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my cursed lodgings. It's a short distance, I think it was, like a couple steps. A green overcoat. Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? Oh, that part? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. True. True. There was nobody else there at the time, just the 2 of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could have possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. Well, it must have been some other person, or she stabbed herself. And then later on, like, no, someone's actually stabbed her. Pretended to stab herself. It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal. Counsel, proceed, please. Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. I don't think it's the only chance. It's like one of like many chances. But okay. His arrest. I said it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There was unusually light fog. I thought super heavy fog. That's weird. They mentioned that before. Oops, not present. Press. Mata! A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You can see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though. That's light, is it? Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like you to know, of course. I've read that London is famous for its fog, but in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate. I see. At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. His voice keeps changing, Berri. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. What? That's super heavy. Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Ah, Susato-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Oh, he's saying it was opportunity. It was reasonably good there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us. What? Who? Ah yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? The witnesses were, though. Nearby then. That's right, one of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard. That is correct, ma'am. Then we must hear their testimony. Prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary. But, wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. Lol. Such a diss. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights. Ah! The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime. But here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness. Oh, must have been amazing. Electricity! Or gas. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector. What is taking stock? Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and his twin collapsed. Out of the blue? From behind, you say? Awesome. Fish and chips now. I'm hungry. That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition? Comatose, no less? I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's. I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of the events. Ah, they're all blending in. Luck is on your side, the client's side, it seems. Ah, stop doing that. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid. Okay, so that's not it. He just ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Or is he talking about the books, right? Mr. Natsume's belongings? I think you'll find it. I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. Are those actually the books, though? Yes, 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. Really? I guess snow would ruin the cover. The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand. Which means... His other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. Ah. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew he was there. You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust a knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yes. Old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused. All the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. Oh my god. Like, hey, you like a country, you like a books. Thing. The book's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. Oh, new evidence? Bourbon books. Okay. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Makes sense. Something like this. Local maps information updated. Okay. Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. I think people use that. If you know his schedule, then, you know, you can just frame him, right? Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yeah, I thought the Bourbon Books, right? Was the receipt he got actually from there? Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being... Let me look at it just in case. Your book, see? I knew it! I knew it! Bookshop name. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes, it would be. It could be a very important clue. Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say. Ah, his voice is not working out. The man be any more sardonic. Can be any more sardonic. Bourbon Books, everyone, I don't need to look any more further because I already know. Present! If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. Oh, nice. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books. Your Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume? Yes. Why? How would you know that? I would think it's Y-O-U-R or like something else. Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop, not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... It's a different way, isn't it? Well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accuser would have known about it. You can't say that. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it. Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Oh, where is it though? Let's look at that first. Then maybe. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map here. That may be of help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. Where is it? I actually don't know where it is. If the defendant had been returning from borrowing books. Yeah. Then yes, he would have most certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we would take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, your books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all, except we should have looked this up in the beginning. Before you said this. Could that be true? Oh, my, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. I mean, could be. Doesn't mean it will be. Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that your books is just here, on the next corner of Meerschaum Street going east. Oh, that's the awkward. Would you take the up route or would you take the right route? I would actually take the right way route, possibly. I don't know. It's like half and half. And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Well, it's not really that clear, actually. Yeah, it's not clear. That's half and half. Oh. Oh, where'd you get another bottle of wine and a cup? Do you have like a servant or just like layers serving you? Or a maid, I guess. Everyone has a maid. My learned Nipponi's friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus. Wow, such a could you put that glass down now? Or I'll put it down for you. Or you put that down, yeah. I didn't think I need to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from your books instead of Bourbon books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Not definitely. You could go the other way. That's not definite. Yes, thank you, Inspector. I need my water too. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. Oh my god. Him and his wife. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Yes, it does, though. I mean, he could have passed the top, I guess. As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try. What did I say? Yeah, I've had enough of this now. Beg your pardon? Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Mr. Nadaldo, you mustn't give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty just because of that. That was fast. Oh, she's absolutely right. You must think. You must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. Wait, what do you mean? He claims those examiners have passed the location of the incident on his way home. I don't think so. Wait, let me save. Options. Save. Yes. Raise objection. It looks equal to me. It could have been either. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. Exactly. Yeah, why couldn't you go this way? Unless it's something that, they know there's like, construction there, or maybe. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that there's construction there, wasn't it? That route is what is commonly referred to as the long way route. Wait, what does that mean? What? Huh? On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? What makes you think that's longer? It's not necessary. No, not really that much longer, if anything. Well, the answer is extremely simple. You wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. Yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Matsume which route he took home. I mean, you could lie technically. I've already informed the court of the accused's response to such questions. We should have asked him beforehand, actually. He claims he has no recollection. Huh? Do you not remember which route you take home every day? Or something. From a bookstore. Huh? That's right, as I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. Wait, that wouldn't mean though he took the top route either though. That stands to reason that you wouldn't know which route he took. I don't believe this! I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around the subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors? But even if that is the case, the defense Oh, that was fast. Oh, well, they all were like, no. I agree with Lord Benzix wholeheartedly and in every way. Dude, that should not be enough to determine guilty, though. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean? You members of the jury are completely convinced that what? Why are you speaking for everyone? You're not even friends or anything. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court. Dude, this... How could you guys be so decided from one piece of witness evidence? Oh, use that! 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 Oh, that was fast. Is it over? Wait, is it over? Wait, is my trial over? Huh? This is such a terrible court system. Sci-fi. You appear the jury's leaning is unanimous. This is a terrible court system. Seriously. At this point, anyone in the suspect position is going to be instantly guilty then. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve queen and country admirably. The queen? No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. Oh, that thing again? I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of a query not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial? Rights of the defense written into integrated British law that should have been buried long ago. Then again, I did have an innocent in the last trial, by using it. Call it antiquated if you will. But it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We'll each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Okay. Time to turn around again. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he? If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why can only have been the victim? Not necessarily. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful. I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books, yes. Nice shop, that. But boardroom books? No, not worth a visit. Wait, the last person was completely irrelevant. With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. When the step occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Yet it doesn't mean anything. You can't say that means anything if he's also saying he didn't stab her. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant had fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now. Why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? I'm thinking the green one is a suspect. And then they attack the woman later on, or at a different time. Or like, you know, attacked her beforehand and then just like dragged her out into the snow or something. This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, there's no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue. Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least. Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. Get the forward counsel. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord. I just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke. You can do it! You can do it! Oh. Jury examination! The defense is rebuttal! Rebuttal! Oh, I can press them against each other, right? Already admitted to himself. Wait, what did he admit himself? Wait, you have to say that first. What? You can't just be like, he said it. He said what? Excuse me, but aren't you... Yep, yes, that's right. I was in a witness stand myself just 2 days ago. You saw this too? Coincidentally? Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or a side of it, anyway. What's wrong with this other side again? I forgot. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. It was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Whose fair play was a man of repute. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hunter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge, yeah? There's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock... Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. I'm free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. But you're not listening to the whole thing, and all the evidence! Ah, thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind, given our awkward history. Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. Was it the Hatter? He said a woman in green collapsed before his victim. Why can only have been the victim? Man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his back way from winter. From behind, was she? How dreadful. You have this. What is this? I guess I'll go to the mall. Ugh. You're right that, at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. But let us not forget, madam. Defendant vehemently, I forgot how to pronounce that. Forcefully, essentially, denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. Yeah, but why would he admit that there was then a green person in front of them? The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Well, I really couldn't say, after all. You are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds? Wow. That's terrible. I can tell you what's going on through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. Like what? I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime. Ah, racist, isn't it? Ah, during that time. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, couldn't be more simple. Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you are too kind, my lord. That went well for her. This is weird. What is he talking about? A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. What's your idea of why he's guilty? Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Ah. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. Well, it's not a payday? If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do my wife and kids. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work is taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. We're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk. It is. So you were digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was. Was the road blocked? I'm looking. What? Another coincidence? That's right. Mearsham Street it was. Oh wait, the other one. Mearsham Street?
K07.
Oh, hi, Saranoni. Good evening. On the map, Mr. Naruto, there are only 3 named streets. Jury number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can we just get this business over with now? Please, sir. It's important. Fine, I'll do it then. Oh, nice. On the day it happened, I was digging up Mearsham Street from dawn till dusk. Mearsham Street is this one, right? Oh, that means he couldn't have went this way. Right? Which means I can pit this guy versus I was digging up this from dawn to dusk with this guy who says he wouldn't have gone around the house on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. Let's go! Igiyari! Those 2 statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds, counsel. Explain yourself. Please don't point! It wasn't me, I swear! Oh, what's going on with you? You know what? I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3? Oh, me? Sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-handed books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Mearsham Street, making it impossible, which means that the defendant's route home is the other way. Could not have taken him along Mearsham Street and down Briar Road. Oh yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Think of yourself, man. Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. You'd think you would remember that, but okay. So the only conclusion is this. I'm too hyped up that I'm talking too fast. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose I must be right, eh? Jury number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But...
It oppose s okay. I like when you can get hyped with this.
Get too hyped up. We see now that he had no choice. Oh, wait, I thought you understood like 2 seconds ago about that. My lord, Mr. Judge, if I may. Yes. I don't think in all good conscience that I can say that the man's guilty now. Yeah, yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. Oh! Oh! Yay! One vote! Wait, the other guy. The other guy's vote too. What about you, sir? Who? Me? I need to work for my wife and kids, but whatever. I guess I can see this trial continue, but I want this guy guilty is what he's thinking. Well, alright then. There is a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in. That's what I say. It's not innocent, that's just like undecided, but yeah, whatever. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. Strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal. Make other people guilty! Woo! Thank you, counsel. On with summation examination, please. Yes, my lord. Saluting in my own room. Okay, so he's good. Back from behind. This guy. What do you mean not worth the visit? Sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what? Oh, hold it. No. What I said was hold it. What? What I wanted to ask you was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. What is old tea? Did I read that correctly? Did I read that correctly? Nice cup of old tea, what does that mean? You mean like traditional tea? Anyway, that's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon.
Never heard of it. LOL.
Lol. And it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day. Did you see the victim though? Including the day you're all talking about. Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. There's always like some older guy here. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after that dreadful time I had. What? What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and dunked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? Where's that? On the map? Wait. That's right, I live in Cornpipe, you see? Where's that? Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. No comment. You changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruto. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Just 2 more to go. Live for the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here. Wish I knew how to do a successful takedown. I suppose words will have to suffice for now. Okay, wait. Calabash Road. Where's that? Oh, this one. Oh, this one. This is the quickest way home? He knocked himself out on Calabash Road. You're home from your books. Where's his home? He says Cornpipe. Where in the world is that? Where is that? Wait. Anyway, the point is that if he wasn't there, the poor woman couldn't have been attacked from behind. Well, let's look at hers. We didn't mata hers yet. Whatever is the... Wait, they're the same voice. Whatever is the matter, young man? You're the wife of Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume's room. The master's wife? Where do you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid, you understand? He's keeping up that charade? Ugh, this is gonna be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you'd been selected for a jury in this trial, I mean. Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It wasn't the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice. I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he? Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now. And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Like taking hold? Understand? Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this? You should not be mentioning this right now to someone who they met like a week ago. Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort. What? Spending all his time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. 1 week? He's only been there for 1 week. I've heard of them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. But people say such things about him. He's just a harmless bookworm. Nothing more. Well, you just called him a worm, so... that was funny. Anyway, I'd better be careful of inviting this maid to speak. She's been saying enough damning things already. Also, it's not her. Slipped. Slapped before his eyes. Can only have been a victim. What is this emitting thing, though? That. What is this that he wants to say again? Wait, I already saw this. Right. Oh, when you talk about your statement. Not your identity. Darn it, they don't talk more about them. Woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why can only be the victim? He doesn't have to be. Stuck from behind. I mean, technically those are different. Let's try. One of them is collapsed, one of them is attacked, right? They're technically different things. Let's try them. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Oh, it sounds like it's a terrible mistake and that I did this wrong. Yep. I'm sorry, but as foreman of the jury, I have to object. It's complete nonsense. What? I'm a banker, don't forget. An educated man, and there's no contradiction as far as I can see, darn it. Quite so, Mr. Foreman. I will not permit a whimsical attack against the good members of the jury council. Darn it. Listen carefully. I am! What is it? Where's the contradictions? I knocked myself clean out. How is that anything relevant? Calabash Road. Can I do with the regular people like this guy? No, I don't think so. No, wait, he's knocked out too. Can I do this? Wait, let me... Save. Save. Save.
I think I remember the quote contradiction quote here, and it opposes S out there.
Okay. No spoilers. I want to say the collapse and he collapsed too, so maybe... Wait! He's wearing a green coat too. This one! I found her! Those statements clearly show a flaw in the jurist's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2? Juror number 6? Whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he came into your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. Yes. I'm following. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. But because it was blocked, it had to have been Calabash Way, and the guy, he said that he saw a green person with a coat falling, right? And that old guy said he also fell on that street. And he has a green coat, so it has to be him, and not the other lady. Doesn't have to be, but most likely. That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously. Can you really be sure of that, madam? My, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean? That's right, I'm referring to, of course, to juror number 6, you! Too hard of hearing, juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today? That was such terrible acting, brother. That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. He does. Except the hair, I think? Well, look at that. My goodness me. Sorry, you need a pee? What? And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly he did not stab the victim. The crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed, was not on his way home. Oh my! What's talking about? I don't know, man, if you hadn't been so deaf as to be roaming around there, we'd been boxed this off hours ago. And really, what were you thinking? Wearing such a befuddled coat. What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the LA to walk the street these days? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it? What the? Who said that? Her? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but... You like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. You know what, Joe? What? Where's you? Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well... Those weird fire things, I still don't understand. How does that work? Are we in fantasy world? That was elegant. She closed her eyes as she did it. She knows it was not gonna hit her in the face. Well, that summation... Oh wait, wrong one. Well, the summation examination is concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes, yes. The nose, 4. The eyes, 2. The nose, 4. The nose have it not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. Why is it that if all the 6 are at no, then it's not guilty? It's like we continue the trial. But if all of them are yes, then it's like, you know, guilty. We don't need to continue with the trial anymore. That's what it was? I forget. The trial will continue. Is a large glass. Oh, I knew it. Sounds like Dracula's coming somehow. But it seemed churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. You need to stop asking for Forgiveness. I never learned. Lord Van Zieks? It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? Which one? You said many things. I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Whatever do you mean? Yeah, stop insulting people. I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed, stalwart jury number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. It took me the whole day, and they paid me a measly 2 pence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Small distance, isn't it? But he said everyone turned back. Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? But he said everyone turned back. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. Oh, well, kids, oh. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could have spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town. Ah! Is that true, is it? Too many voices. Yeah. The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. Are they actually, though? It's just 3 books. And it's the actual titles, I don't think so. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Oh, well, so much for that theory. Fresh in a single sentence. And old man. Kokoro man, you can talk! You say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question. You slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. Yeah, obviously, they're behind me. You don't remember? How about a wager, my darn friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would say 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. What to prove that? Innocent until guilty. Order. Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself. My lord? My lord. If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. What? I highly doubt it. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. My hospitality has its limits. They have been reached, I feel. Oh! This cape, he threw it away! Where'd it go? So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. Where'd it go? What are you talking about? My lord. Prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Oh, finally the witnesses are coming. Granted, bailiff, bring forth the witnesses. It's next witnesses? Mr. Naruto, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions, yes, but there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember. I, Lillin, remember. Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Alright, no matter who Van Zieks brings to the stand as witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. That's not what you said, like, you know, a couple of minutes ago. And I'll keep believing till the very end, until this battle is over. Oh, is it over? No. Let me turn on the lights. BRB, light.
These witnesses, one of the best pairs in the whole game.
Oh, are there? Need to make new voices for everyone. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. High voice and a sleepy voice? I don't know if I can do that one.
Imo, at least.
Oh. What type of voice is this? Constable Berri B. Sa. Nothing to report on the street, Sa. And I'm Mrs. Beat. Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife. Oh, so a couple. Married couple. What's the story here? Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day. What's the voice again? Funny. No. It was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. Oh yeah, they said that. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean, and lighting, and extinguishing our street lights. That's too many things going on. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. But a London Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber, apparently. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. Oh, okay. And they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Opposite direction. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat? That's right, sir. Isn't it really? A constable Raleigh beats up. Nothing to report on the street, sir. What a great witness he's going to be. That sounds like an amusement park. Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. Oh. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was our wedding anniversary and Millie was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. We? We? Why didn't you go? I thought he's a police guy. I thought he apprehends criminals. What? It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Willie and I both saw him, as clear as day. Wait, just her? What about the guy? Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Miss Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the Summation Examination will be quashed. It's death now, in fact. What does that mean? Because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate chancing, and on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. With my man? With my man? Gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that?
Knell is like a public omen of death.
Okay. I was thinking of a ringing bell for some reason. I don't know why. My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. But him stabbing is a different incident, right? And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Which is weird, except he didn't catch the guy. He went to the police box. That is weird. Except the man's so tired.
Oh. At least that I've heard.
Okay. Except the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. Okay, wait. That one part, or it's like... suspicious. Let's just go straight to that part. Me after a meal, there's no time to change after work. Sounds normal. Two silhouettes appeared. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, or scattered something. Straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a police nearby box. That part. Was it your husband who went to fetch help? No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one, after all. Isn't that right, my darling? Oh my god. Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obligated to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. Wait, let me repeat that. Let me look at that. I asked her to go. She was off duty. Okay. Guard the scene, okay. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know. And that's thanks to your swift response. The case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens. Oh please, you're making us blush. Isn't he, darling? And pulls on his scarf. Issa! Wapashusitsa! Ah. Let's move on, shall we? That's so weird though. The Japanese man in the dock. Saw him as clear as day. Okay, let's go with the other ones then. No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. Oh. Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? Ah. I'm surprised that scarf is, like, still intact. Also, they have matching scarves! And it matches her ribbon, which looks all patched up and... Are they poor? Because the ribbon's patched up. I don't know. I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? Oh. This is creepy. I should have went to this first. Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes, I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. What? That's terrible. Oh dear. That doesn't seem healthy. Kindly here to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, Sayas. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But please think about my life, sir. As long as I'm proud of owner of this, I'll serve my duty, my city, and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir, proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty, to patrol the streets of London town, and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail, and without a grumble. I need to cover 20 miles a day. And we fit. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. Oh, really? So fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then? You just walk? What's up? Just on that particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh,
and don't oppose tea even have to light any lamps.
Oh, really? Oh my god, such sparkles in their eyes. No lamps, just walking? I want just walking. Oh, what a charming couple. Wait, no, yeah, wrong voice. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next. Wait, is that journal not in our court record? Darn it. Two silhouettes appeared out of the fog, but then you saw them clear as day. I find that weird. Two silhouettes? That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. Oh yeah, this part. Did they actually see him? Huh? Did they see him stab the girl in the back if they're opposite direction? Is what I'm wondering next. Oh. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby? Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see? There's nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? Yeah, that's right. Of course, there was a light. Fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrian. Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. And are you quite sure what you just said? Yes, sir, as a copper stands all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets. I'd swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Roddy. Ah. They're still meeting. There was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened. I mean, they could have done it, couldn't they? It's making it seem like there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened, the crucial moments that followed. Oh wait, let me relook at that history again. Their voices distract me. My voice distract me. Nobody's else around. Light fog, but it's dead straight. You can see a fairly long way down the pavement. Okay. Collapsed on the floor. What? And they scattered something. What scattered? Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Streamer problems XD.
La, yeah. Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then, when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Wait, yeah. What? Ah, yes. That's right. It was some old books. I see. Old books. Yes, sir! The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print. And show it to us again? Are those the old books? Oh, the snow is still weird. How it's only that part that's like clean of snow. That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed. Wait. Too far. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. Oh, you saw him! It was a man in the dark without question. Saw. The mustache, the hunchback, and the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose. Everything! Any more insults you want to throw in? That's right, he looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away. Why would he do that? If he actually was doing the thing, why would he do that? That's so... I see. It's tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Darn it, credibility. Now please, continue. Yes, sir. Okay. I saw this already. It's definitely the Japanese man. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you? Oh, stop pulling on it. We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know. Wow. Using... okay. Right. The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only in light, didn't he? Ha, yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm. Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? Yeah, he's... what? Constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see? And that's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? What? Yes. It was accused and no mistake. A mustache, a hunchback, the cat. Oh, again. The top mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, stop! As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Sosuke-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. I don't know, those were all... there is no contradiction. Well, that's it? Is it? That's their entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing testimony, it does seem like he did it. It really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? Yeah, there's nothing here, man. The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no, then what do we do? If Kazuma-sama were here... Ghost! We need Mayoi-chan to come and channel Kazuma's ghost to tell us. That's what we need here. What are you trying to say? I think you would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony. What do you mean somewhere else? What? Where? Your statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of that day is accurate. Oh, right, okay, like what? Like what? An example? But simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I always seem to be so against it? Where? What? Mr. Laurie, sir, can I ask you something? What? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it! Wow, she's using him as a... that's an attack thing. What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like, oh, I know. About the books the man dropped. Yeah, see, I wanted that information in the beginning. I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. Oh, thank you. This is what I needed. You'd think the picture would have that, but I guess not. You dare to question how reliable my testimony is? That would do me speak. No, I won't do it all.
Even them being aggressive would be adorable.
I know, except I don't know about their love for each other, but yes. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decided to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fist down. Husband's fist. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Yes, say it. Might that appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? can even tell you the names of the 4 books he chose. Oh, there it comes. 4 books. 4 books. I thought you can give me the names. So you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur, somebody, what's it? Yearnings, meal for someone in the thingy something. Wait, what? You remember the name? Wait. Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Garbo and Cadbury Yearnings. Oh wait, that was actually pretty correct. Except the 4th one. The thingy something. That one. I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Muhaha, I know. Will not bully you now. Oh no, what flaw? Bang. Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. I mean, it could technically just not be in the picture, but then again, he only bought 3 books, so like, I guess he could have had a 4th, I don't know. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books. But no, that can't be. I saw them. Different person, different books. Oh, I know what it is, yes. You can't fool me. Sorry? It's that big old lump of a dead body. What? What a dead body is. She's not even dead. She's just unconscious. The lady's so large. Her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all. Her corpse. Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman is dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. No. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you described. I mean, he could have technically had another book to, like, you know, to read and then buy 3 more books. But, yeah. Why not? Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. Yes, I do. Ah, evidence. Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accuser did not drop 4 books? The one that literally receipt has 3 books on it. The evidence right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. From your books? Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. No! Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied upon. Or it's a different person. I think that's a better thing. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was a defendant you saw, why'd you say 4 books anyway? You could very well be mistaken. Oh no! Oh no! Wait, she is poor. Look at her skirt. It's like patched up. Oh. She threw one last punch. It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What do you mean? They make perfect sense. What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. I mean, technically the 4 or 3 books doesn't really matter. The fact that you know very well you have no hope. You know very well you have no hope of disproving. Good. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. And then break it and throw it in the candles. To the policeman's wife in her entirely accurate testimony. In every respect. Oh! What? You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Berri Road. Huh? A total of 4 books were most definitely found. What? Put that in the picture then. But what about the photographic print? Only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. What? You have another one? That print, you mean to say? When you put that to— oh my god, this thinking. Why would you do that to the poor glass candle thing? Let me present another, one that shows the victim's hand. Wait a minute, wouldn't that be her book then? Yeah, what's wrong with the book actually too? It's like eaten. Yeah, wouldn't that be her book? I don't believe it. Oh wait. Oh, so that'd be her book and the other 3 books are his. Okay. The Lion's Bride. Isn't that the book from the landlord's place too? I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No! No! My testimony! Order! Order! There, you see? You see? Look at that! Look! 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 Yes. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir, but you're just always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the book's purchase by the accused on the day in question. She did get the title right, though, which means those 3 books are his, I guess. Mrs. B, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. Picture of Monsieur somebody or other. A picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it, yearnings? Canterbury yearnings. Meal for someone? Meal for Gabriel, in fact. Gabriel. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the title of books flawlessly. Well, save for the few minor details. That's not flawless then. Mrs. B's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional. I don't know if you can say it that either. Did you hear that, Raleigh? Gentlemen paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia's flawless. But there are only 3 books on the receipt. Mrs. B mentioned 4. Because the victim had one. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. Yep, because she had it. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. Yep, I knew that. The victim was holding her own book. It was kind of broken though. I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. Let me look at it. Give me evidence. You will submit that in the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord. Second crime scene photograph. Second photograph of the scene taken by policemen just after the incident. It specifically shows the victim's hand. A book entitled The Lion's Pride discovered in the victim's hand at the scene. The prosecution rests. Okay, wait. Let me look at it. What does it look like it's burned or something? Or like eaten? Oh my god. It was burned. The landlord had a fire at their place, and this book obviously something that the landlord belongs there. Therefore, this was a cover-up. It was those people that killed or stabbed a woman and then tried to make it seem like the other guy did it. Oh, look at this! Book has been badly burnt. You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. Why do you know that? A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Oh! Updated. Didn't know you can update like that. Title. Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. I don't know that either. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I heard it recently. I think I've heard of a book by that name before, and very recently too. It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Nadhuddle. Okay. We're good. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious, longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat, marry me, Pat. What? She's already married to you. So perhaps ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? Stop that. You have heard all the witnesses and seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruto, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. No, the book, man, the book. Think, Nunosuke, think. What do you do now? Objection. If I wait and see, I have nothing else to say. I'm not done yet. Oh. No, my learned friend. It's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... The bark! I can't think of what to say. The bark! If I may, Lord Van Zieks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Yeah, before everything's determined. An insignificant little eastern isle must be a lawless hole indeed for a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer, so you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruto? One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Mrs. Sato, please. Go, Sato! Very well, pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Is it actually hers, right? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants a further examination, do you? Yes, I do, yes. Mr. Naruto, what do you think? Yes. If you say no, there's nothing else to debate about anymore. It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. Yeah, no choice, just go. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. I already finished it. I'm ahead of you, Susato. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Susato. This is it, Susato-san. Why is Susato-san and Miss? Let's manage to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Dun dun dun. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand. We've already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. That was burnt, man. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity— Wait, what? You led the court to believe that the evidence in the question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Thank you. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. Yeah, it's, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Suspicious. Which means he may very well be on the right track. Yes. I think you might be right. We can do it! I can do it! So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals? Dun 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 dun. What? That's new, though. I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It's undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing. Yeah, so someone must have put it in her hands. The real culprit. Unnatural, you say, and what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh! Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? That it was originally not from... It was from that place that's near the landlord's place. Charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance certainly, but worth a try. Yeah! Someone else is involved in this. That's the whole point. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered? A shop has sold it, content. Its owner is not hers. It's the landlord's. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon. But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. Actually, if she was gonna be stabbed in the back and she's holding a book, you'd think she'd let go of the book though. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, I have the answer. The defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Ari? Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? It is this guy. This guy, or her, technically, but this guy. They're technically husband and wife anyway. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Gyakuten. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Gyakuten herself. Oh, biased. Oh my goodness me! I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Gyakaten's wife. I'm just maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Gyakaten's house? I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir. As a maid, I think you should know, actually, if you're a maid. This outlandish behavior. This woman is accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Well, it doesn't make her partial, though. Makes her partial, not impartial. Your actions are unforgivable. No, it's biased. It is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below. Maybe she was in the house, and then they accidentally stabbed her, and then they're like, oops, let's try to get someone else to take the crime for it. take the blame for it, and then they got the foreign guy maybe to do it. Anyway, another incident was taking place in a room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Scaredeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, Counsel? A fire, my lord. Fair to say it was. Happened in blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a belly thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Belly's furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. Oh, I forgot he mentioned that. The Lion's Pride. By Jove. By what? Very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh, dear me. This is risible? All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. Entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Scaredeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Scaredeb, even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you really? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. So why? Oh yeah, the books here were burnt too. One of my favorite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. It was accidental murder? I know, murder, assault. Here was I, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming 10 and done. On flame books, lol. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him? That sounds terrible. Goodness gracious. Oh, are you suggesting that a book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of crime? Obviously not. But it's from there. No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there was no report of the Scaredeb's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no signs of broken glass when we visited the Scaredeb household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time? Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. But there's a fire. I think someone opened the window if there's a fire. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Ah! Does the defense postulate that the scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found in the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Scaredeb's wife? Oh, that would suck, man. If it was, then that maybe that knife was also thrown out the window. Which actually kind of makes sense now. Can you reach that distance? I believe it's a possibility, my lord. Like his accidental knife thing. That's quite enough. Who is this? The wife? Yeah, I thought so. That's quite enough. Well, I hope that everyone can see for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? I mean, our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance sake. How could you? It's nothing to its beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family name. Our. Your maid, though. No, I assure you, that was never my intention. Dragging upstanding citizens' name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box her ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. You read. Ah, that's random. Here we go. How long have we sat here now, listening to this Nipponi spouting out his fancy foreign theories? Hey, we did this last trial, do you not remember? I won. But, think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache, and he ran away from the scene too. I do declare you're right. It's true? Yes, what did I tell you? Makes it to me. Yeah, sorry, what's that? Well, It would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks? I'm hungry. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always experience patience in order to savor the best vintage? Vintage? No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... Yeah, it's in the middle of this. Oh my god, that's so rude. Your foot on the table. If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. Really? Are they not even letting me, like, try to convince them? What, no forgive the discourtesy this time? Low. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear. Yuzai! 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 Can't believe they had voice they use for that, but they don't have it for like the whole thing. Do I get another summation examination thing? Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now, it's over. Sato, don't give up! Who is this? Is Sato? Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting another one? Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. It still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. I always have one more chance. It's never been. 2. My lord, the defense asked to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to cover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. His face is so shiny. Oh! That was long. To be continued. Oh! That's what trial part 1 meant. What's my next one? Trial part 2! Oh! That was 2 hours, actually. We're normally on... Oh, wait! Wait, stop. Stop. Nope. Go back. Potato. Whew. Okay. We're done for today. And tonight, I need to go and make dinner. And I'll continue this next week. So everyone that watched this, thanks for watching and hope it was interesting because Ace Attorney is amazing and it's fun. I wonder when this is over. I'm on oh! Oops. Darn it, there's a 2! I didn't even finish 1 yet. But yeah, I'll do this again next week if I got time. Most likely I will around the same time as usual. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Hope you had fun. Good night. Bye-bye. We'll go make dinner.